Hello. We
Hello,
are.
mate.
Hey, Danny. How are you?
Good, brother.
We are here with Danny Higgins. He's in Australia now. He's in Brisbane. And good morning there because it's
Good.
7 o'clock in the morning. Sunday, yeah? Sunday
Yeah,
morning.
7 a.m. Sunday, bro.
Yeah, good. So Danny Higgins, he is one of the best MMA coaches in Australia. So he has been training and he has been fighting and he has been coaching for a long time. And I want to talk about today about the Warriors mindset because it's something that some people doesn't understand what is this, but is there is something more deeper or something more complex than just go for the war because it's like I want you explain what you understand about the warriors mindset that people all the time are talking and people are trying to seek this mentality for get the goals.
Cool. So, for me, the Warriors mindset, you can develop the Warriors mindset not just as a fighter. You not everyday regular people, bricklayer, doctor, policeman. They can all develop the warrior mindset. For me, the warrior mindset is not necessarily about when you're doing well, like when you're winning or when life is good for you. It's how you pick yourself up when you've been pushed to the ground, if that makes sense. It's how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
it's how you conduct yourself when things are difficult. And for me, fighting and martial arts has been a method for me to develop that mindset, but not just on the mat or in the cage, but in life as well. I think that's the most important thing, you know, for all the people that train martial arts, jiu-jitsu or whatever,
Yeah.
Vale Tudo, MMA, kickboxing, it's a very small percentage that actually fights.
Yeah, yeah.
So the warrior mindset, it's important to understand, I think, that it's accessible to everyone, not just the young, tough guys who want to fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And how you work with this kind of mindset? You have a method, or you study that, or you just learn from the battlefield.
I think my story is different. I think everybody's story is different. The mindset for competition and how you prepare yourself is like, for example, as a coach, preparing two different guys or preparing fighters or jiu-jitsu guys for competition. No two people are the same because we
Yeah,
all have your personality is different to mine, different to the next guy. So as a coach, aside from teaching technique, is you have to understand the character and the heart of your fighters and prepare them accordingly.
yeah,
I've had fighters that if you make it serious, like it's war, and you have to win and lose no matter you have to win no matter what, they do very well like that. The more frightening or the more intense you make the situation, the
yeah,
better they are. Damien Brown's like that.
Yeah.
But then other people, if you just, man, just go have fun out there, don't worry about winning and losing, that's a good option for them. So, so for me, because as you know, you're my jiu-jitsu coach, but really, for a lot of my years doing MMA, I was coaching myself. So I had to work out not only other people's character, like my own students, but my own. So I had to work out the mindset that best suited my character. That's the most important thing first. So once I
But
worked that out,
some
then the one,
I see some guys, they use like meditation, or they use
yeah,
some kind of method. Do you
yeah,
use something?
yeah, I did. So there's a couple of ways that this happened. It's like any science experiment. So you do an experiment. So the experiment is to fight, and then you look at the result. It win or lose, you have an honest assessment. And if you're happy with the result, you continue the same method. If you're not happy with the result, you go, okay, I was really aggressive for this fight, but the performance wasn't good. Well, then you have to change your mindset.
Yeah, yeah,
So some of it was that early on in my career, I had some tough fights. So I would analyze after the competition. Should I have been more aggressive, less aggressive, blah, 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 like this. So I did that. And then also I started really researching. Everybody's method is different, but I got right into meditation, and particularly Zen meditation, which is the cornerstone of that is to focus only on right now, this very second. And that helped me with the anxiety and stress of competition. And it's the same. The Zen meditation is the method that the samurais used in ancient Japan, feudal Japan, because every day they woke up, they had the threat of death. So they used meditation as a way to conduct their lives. So, yeah, I think it's very common. A lot of fighters use Zen meditation, but that was my thing. That was what I found that worked for me. Is when I got into meditation and just focusing on the present moment, not worry about my last fight, not worry about winning or losing, just acting and reacting to my opponent, and then my success. I become much more successful, and I become much more comfortable in stressful situations.
do you think the mindset for we have to have flexibility, so we change the mindset on the way, or even on the fight?
Yeah, for sure. That's very true. And also, if you do it for a long enough time, over like a lot of guys only compete a couple of times or whatever, but like for life, like the way you and I think now, I guarantee is not the same as when we were 25.
For sure.
Uh,
What what you do different? What did you do different on your last fight, and then you start when you start to fight your first MMA fight? Because what would you tell yourself younger? That man, you have to think this for you win the fight.
yeah.
What
Uh,
would you tell him?
for fighting,
Yeah.
the number one thing is I would have told my older self, would have told my younger self not to be so serious about winning and losing. Uh, because when I learned to relax a little bit and just enjoy the experience, I fought much better. Like that's why most people, they train a certain level, and then when they compete, it usually drops a little bit because they're nervous and they're anxious. So when I understood what that meant, that if I could stay relaxed and fight like how I train, I'll do good. So that was
And
and it took me a little while to understand that.
and what is this relax you say you stay there, you arrive at the fight
Yeah,
with a little anxious, and
of
you
course.
stay calm. What you do for you keep calm, for you keep you in trail and the focus,
Well,
what you
there's
used to do, or what you tell your
okay.
students to do.
Two things. There's two things that are important. One is if you're not physically prepared, if you didn't train hard enough, or you didn't eat the right food, then the doubt starts to come.
Mm,
Like the day of the fight and half an hour before the fight, you go, "Oh shit, man, I didn't do enough hill sprints, or I didn't do enough sparring." Or, but if you really know, that's why you know me. That's why I'm fanatical about training. If you train hard, that's one thing you don't have to worry about because you can't.
because your mind is so confident that the training was hard, that
Yeah.
he can go without fear. Or what about fear? What do you think about fear, coach?
Fear is important. If you don't have fear, then then you shouldn't be fighting. It's not whether you're scared or whether you have fear or not. It's how you manage the fear. Fear, like the nervous, like the butterflies. Do you call it butterflies in Portuguese?
Yeah,
Where you
butterfly in the stomach.
that's just and the shallow breathing. That's just and the sweating, and that's your body's natural or your normal physiological response to get ready for something that's not normal.
It's
If
not normal you fight.
it's not normal, man. It's not normal to do a competition fight. It's not
Yeah,
like a
that's true.
it's not like a primal fight like we living 10,000 years ago. We're fighting for food or for life.
Mm,
It's just a sport. So it's a very
true.
different mindset, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So
Yeah, 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 for
all
sure.
of those normal sometimes when people are young, they get the butterflies and they think, shit, I shouldn't be nervous. And that's not, first of all, it's important to realize that's normal and it's actually important. And if you didn't have butterflies, then uh, there's something. Then you're not ready for it. You're not ready.
I see, I see. Yeah, yeah.
So in terms of managing the fear, as long as you're confident in your preparation, the other thing, and it goes back to the Zen thing, you focus on the moment and like the present time, and you just only focus on the things that you can control. It's the same as life. All you can control is the type of person that you are. You can't control if somebody likes you or not. That's their situation, not yours.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just getting ready for a test or anything, any stressful moment, you can only focus on what you in your power. So you in fighting or jiu-jitsu competition, you can't control whether you win or lose or the result. You can't control how good he is. You can only control how good you are. So things like your conditioning, like your fitness, you've got 100% control over that. You can be not prepared or prepared.
It's
And
true.
your technical skills, you're in control of that. How much you drill, how much time you spend on the mat, and if you don't win because the other guy's better, then that's life. You you learn a lot from competition, from fighting. I think I think one 10-minute or 15-minute fight is worth 6 months of training for your brain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, cool. Yeah. Did you see the? You lost me for a minute. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
no, they just went to 3 screens.
Yeah, because
Now we're back.
I enter again. Yeah, I enter again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you repeat just this last 30 seconds?
Just about. Yeah, I was talking about you can only control.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You can only control what you train.
yeah,
Yeah,
what you stick
that
to.
you have to focus on yourself because you can't control the opponent.
Yeah,
So
and more.
you have how much more you training, how much more confident you're gonna be on the fight.
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah, that's true. And the last thing I said is you can't. You should. That one of the big issues with fighters is they focus on the result too much. They focus on the result.
Yeah.
For example, that's another
Yeah.
thing. You know how much I love Japanese culture, and
Yeah.
one of the things I really like about their culture is they make art out of everything. Even cooking is art. And for Japanese, it's all about the process or the journey. The destination or the result is of a secondary thing. So take Japanese archery. It's called Kudo, and it's how you walk up to the thing, how you wear your uniform, how you draw the bow. All these things are counted, and if you actually hit the target, doesn't matter to them.
I
It's
see.
the
The
it's
journey
the,
is
not the destination. Because you look at life,
enjoy the journey. Yeah?
yeah, and focus on the journey. Be good at the journey.
Be good at the
Because for
journey.
us as human beings, our destination is death. That's the
Yeah,
end.
true.
So that's why fighting and competition, it is such a good lesson for life. Like you just focus
Yeah.
on being the best dietitian you can, the best father you can, the best jiu-jitsu, all the things that you do it the best you can, and your life will generally be better.
For
You'll be
sure,
more
for sure. I
successful,
believe, I
and
believe
you'll be
this a
happy.
lot.
Yeah. So martial arts taught me that. I tried because of the lessons I learned from competition and the stresses that I dealt with. It's. I mean, I'm not the most successful guy in the world, but I'm happy and I have a good job and a good family situation and good kids, good wife, and I try to be the best I can for them and for me in everything that I do, not just martial arts.
And I want to restart here because I know that there are a lot of people watching us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook simultaneously. So, guys, this is Danny Higgins, and he's one of the best coaches, MMA coaches in Australia. He's my student, and I want to put just a video here for the highlights of him, so you can see a little bit of this amazing fighter.
Long time ago.
Deixa eu ver. Just a minute.
You're right, man.
Here we go. Good, awesome.
Just to let you know,
Awesome.
I wasn't responsible for that song. It's terrible. The music was terrible. Angry music.
That's all right. It's good. It's good. Was a good highlight. I pick up on YouTube. Was good. Was very good. So, are you listening? Good.
Yeah, all good.
Okay. So you have lot of MMA fights. So you have 7 wins, yeah, and 4 losses. Is that? And
yeah, there's four.
You have been fighting from 1999. It's on your Sherdog. But before that, have you been fighting before?
Yeah. I had a few MMA fights on my record before that, and then before that, I've had hundreds of karate fights and judo matches and wrestling matches, and I've been competing.
Can you explain me just a little bit of your martial arts background?
Yeah, sure. I started when I was 6 years old, and it was my father would come from a strong wrestling background, and my uncle's an equally strong boxer, and my grandfather was a good boxer, and great uncle. So it was very common in my family. So my grandfather actually suggested about fighting, about boxing. He didn't know anything about Asian martial arts, but about boxing or wrestling. And then back in the early 80s, Bruce Lee was very popular. And so I was right into watching all that sort of stuff. So my parents sent me along to judo for a few months in 1980, and then judo stopped because not very popular. Grappling in Australia, the grappling sports weren't popular until the UFC. So
you learned a little wrestling with your father.
Yeah.
And did you compete in wrestling?
No, not until I was an adult.
In Australia, it's not big the wrestling on high schools and as in America is.
No, it's very weak. Wrestling in Australia is not strong like it is in a lot of other countries. But basically after judo, which didn't last long, I started with karate, Shotokan karate, same as Machida's style, and it was because it's a small town. It was like the only thing that was there. But I loved it when I was a kid, and I trained in it and won many national titles as a junior. And then I got a scholarship and lived in Japan, and was at Japan's top university on scholarship for karate.
Yeah. So you went to Japan to study karate and Japanese.
Yeah, correct.
That's nice.
And then when I joined the military, when I come home, I joined the army, and that was when I saw, like a lot of guys my era, my age, I was in my early 19, 20, and I saw UFC on video, Hoist Gracie, normal thing. And I went, oh, man. I remember ringing my father, and I said, this grappling is awesome, man. So I started. There wasn't even much jiu-jitsu in Australia then, so I started judo again, and then started jiu-jitsu after that. And as you know, when I met you,
with Traven,
yeah, Traven. But then I met Greg Jackson, and when I met you, it was almost 100% of my training was without kimono.
Yeah.
And then
But you were purple belt already when I met you.
Yeah, yeah.
In 2000, 2006. Yeah.
No,
When
I got my purple belt in
no, 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 no. When I met you was in 2006.
2005.
2005.
It was
6.
2005. You gave me my brown belt in 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
Uh, yeah, 2005, and then we lost contact, and I reconnected with you.
I came back to Brazil because I used to live in Australia. People doesn't know, and I met Danny Higgins there, and I graded him a brown belt, and then for a while I stayed in Brazil, and for how many years? It was 5,
10,
10? No.
10 years. Oh, no, not 10 years.
No. It's 2013.
Correct.
I came back.
So I contacted you in 2012.
Yeah, 8 years. 8 years later.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I joke with people I was a brown belt for 8 years. Now most kids go from white to black belt in 6 years, 5 years.
and you had the skills to have black belt since I was there already, because I want you tell because you better English speaker of course than me, and I'd like to you talk about the story when we met each other, because I used to live in Brisbane, and I used to take over the jiu-jitsu gi class on Queensland University.
Yeah, that's right. So I heard, I can't remember who told me.
Was Peter Bias. Bias. In memory of Peter Bias, because he passed away, and he introduced we each other. And thank you, Peter Bias.
Yeah. I hope you're watching, mate. Yeah, that's right. Pete told me, because in those days there wasn't lots of good guys around, and he said there's this massive big Brazilian guy. He's unreal, man. He's teaching it. He's very, very strong and big and technical. I said, well, I'm going there then. So I went, and I just had my rugby shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, man. I remember you on rugby shorts. You arrive on the mats, everybody on gi.
Yeah.
And you arrive and you sit there, start to warm up. And I remember.
We had a strong role. Like we did some good sparring.
Yeah, because I didn't know you, and you were already famous in Australia. People knew you, and as soon as you got there, and I don't know what you think, but what I was thinking, I said, I mean, this guy came to my train, and I'm gonna roll with him, and I'm gonna submit and smash him as usual, because what I was doing.
Very technical, man.
Yeah, and then I ask you, you want to where is your gear? I asked. You said, no, I don't have the gear. Can I train? I said, yeah, of course. And I took out my gear for training, and I invite you to train. We had a very hard training. We stayed there a long time. People.
Hello. Brother, you're frozen.
Are you listening? Yeah. Okay.
You're all good?
Yeah. So all good. So we start to train. Everybody starts to get tired, and we keep training. And I was thinking, man, I have to submit this guy because he's in my training, and I have to submit him, man, because otherwise he's gonna say to everybody, I not submit him. In my head was that, but it was very tough, difficult to fight with you. And after you learn more, more difficult, man. Afterwards, it was very. What you think on this day? You stay there and I want to learn from this guy, or I want to smash him.
No,
What,
no, no.
what did you think?
I genuinely, of course, when we're young, we're alpha males, and you want to do well, and I always train hard only to because I wanted to get your respect, but I genuinely wanted to train with anyone that was better than me or could show me something. So, and then if you remember after the role, you started training over integrated straight away.
Yeah, because after the role, you invite me, man. It was thank you for you invite me because it opened a door for me. It was very good. I started to teach in your gym there by the time.
Yeah, and then you gave me my brown belt, and I said, because our first a lot of our first roles were no gi, no kimono. Then you grade me to the brown belt, and I said, man, we need to start doing more more gi, more training in the kimono. And the first time we rolled in the gi, you smashed me, man, like every 10 seconds.
But I trained with no gi with you, and I got smashed as well. You have crazy leg locks, man, and crazy bars.
It was a good situation because you helped me, of course, with my jiu-jitsu and the understanding of jiu-jitsu, and I could help a little bit with some of the wrestling techniques. And
yeah, for sure, man. I learned a lot from you.
It was fun.
By this time, we train different because what can you can reckon the difference about we used to train in 2005 and nowadays, because I see guys training with you. They were on UFC like Ben 10. Those guys they don't train hard, but they go there and win fights. How does it work? The difference about the before and nowadays?
I think that's still up to the individual. Some guys like Ben was, I don't see Ben as much as I'd like to, but he is a very unique. Like he hardly does hard sparring, and he just seems to relax. And I've never seen him train super hard. And he performs very well. So that's in his character. I still think some people, like Damien, he needs to train hard. He trains hard, otherwise he doesn't perform well. So I still think that's a little bit the individual, but for sure, training now is a lot more scientific. For the elite level guys, high level guys, it's more they train smart. And like for me now, with when I train the guys, there's a lot more scenario training, not just free rolling. So, for example, we'll start only in. You there, brother? Louis? I can't see your face, man. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey Dan,
Yeah. Hey, man.
how's it going? So Tanuri, he's out a little, but he's coming back. So
Okay,
would you mind? Would you mind
So
to still talking about it? Everybody can hear you. Waiting,
cool.
Tanuri come
So
back.
you want me to talk to you while he calls back?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah,
Can,
no worries. And he was talking about the difference in training now compared to the old days.
yeah, sure.
And I just think yeah, the training now is more specific. Lot of Hickson Gracie talks about it a lot. The scenario based training, like not just always rolling, but like specific positions. Hey, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
It's
my computer froze here.
That's all right, man. I was just saying that the training now I teach very specifically. So the role, like we do, like Hickson Gracie says, we do the scenario based training a lot. Like not just rolling, always have a specific objective to
Yeah,
develop
yeah.
your skill.
Because I remember when we started to train MMA, and it was a different world for me. And you
Yeah.
came from the Jacksons in America. And
Mm.
Jackson, for people doesn't know, it's Greg Jackson. He's one. He's the best MMA coach in the world for many years. People, he has the awards. Yeah, and he's the
John
coach of
Jones.
John Jones, Rashad Evans, a lot of guys. So he's the best MMA coach for a long time on UFC. Maybe even today he is among the best, man, for sure. And Danny Higgins, he went there many times and did camps to fight, and he learned from him because he has a spectacular the team. They can build even the psychological way the fighter, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So if you want to talk about that a little bit, because that's actually important.
Yeah.
As much as I'm not doing anything with integrated anymore. The reason we were so strong, and they're still strong now, but the reason we were so strong is that when I went to Jackson's, they were doing. Now everywhere in the world, Australia has strong MMA fighters, and the shoot boxing where you kick and punch and take each other down and ground and pound and all of those things. In Australia, that was not happening, man. It was just rolling in the gi or no gi, and then a little bit of boxing here and there. That was it. And then I went to America, and these crazy guys are fighting in MMA gloves, sparring, and doing everything. So 2 or 3 times a week.
You learn from them.
Yeah. I realized that was actually. So when I came back to Australia, I made the boys. We started doing shoot boxing and sparring with takedowns and the concept of cutting weight, like losing weight to be big for your division. We were so for a little while there. I think we were probably the first guys that were doing that regularly. And now, of course, everybody does it. But back then, that was the number one thing I brought back from Jackson's was if you want to fight and Vale Tudo, you need to train Vale Tudo.
Because it's difficult, you say, let's train Vale Tudo, because there was no MMA. The MMA is new. So how you train? You train kill each other. You train just shadow. How you train? You have to do big gloves, small gloves. How about the elbow? We think like how we gonna train MMA? So in 2005, I remember we used big gloves and we put shin guards and we put like lubricant on the like Vaseline here here and on the shin and pray a
Yeah,
goal. It was crazy, man. It was
yeah,
like people kill each other on the mats.
yeah. I had an old. I remember. I mean, we're not training anymore together, but one of the guys there many years later. For me, it was fun because a little bit crazy, right? So
Everybody.
I but I forget what it's like for some of the other guys. I remember one of my old students saying that every day he'd drive to training, he'd stop on the side of the road with like anxiety and decide whether he should turn around and go home or keep coming to training. So that's
I thought that myself when I was training field there. I was, oh man, I'm grappling, man. I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be smashed there today. But
but to
I
talk
like
about
competition, so I like to learn
but
new things.
while we're talking about, it's important, I think, because you said you want to talk about the warrior spirit.
Yes,
That hard training where you're actually nervous and you have to deal with the fear, that really builds a strong warrior mindset. Now, my problem these days, of course, the sport, the standards much higher, but for normal everyday guys, if they don't have any fear in their training, they and jujitsu's the jiu-jitsu lifestyle, blah blah blah. They just train easy, nice and light. They'll never develop that.
that's true. No, in jiu-jitsu, if we don't train like put in jiu-jitsu like slaps or something,
Yeah,
we're never gonna have this feeling of really fighting, because grappling is kind of different sport. It's just
yeah,
easy. We not use it to get punched.
and you don't
And
have to, man. Like for your students and for my like, I don't train as many MMA guys as I used to, but even just the average guys, they learn they they have to do with the slaps or the ground and pound, but not hard, not crazy, not like the old days. At least once a week. I think you can, just for normal people to defend themselves, you can just do normal gi jiu-jitsu, and then
that's important. Huh?
once a week for 20 minutes you
Yeah,
do ground and pound, or the guy standing has the punches and you learn to clinch, and that's enough for self-defense, for fighting, and but more importantly about developing a warrior spirit. If you don't, in your training, do force yourself to do things that are uncomfortable, then you can't develop. You have to do things that scare the shit out of you. That, and
yeah,
because although after you do it, you come out the other side, you're a different person every time.
yeah, yeah.
I think
That's
a
true,
little
man.
bit,
A little bit every day,
a little
a
bit every
little bit
day.
of stress, a little bit of hard training. Yeah.
In Japanese, they call it kaizen.
Kaizen. And can you explain me what means Bushido in Japanese?
Yeah, Bushido. Bushi means warrior. Bushi, so Bushi. Bushi means warrior. Broadly speaking, warrior.
Okay.
Do is path or way. Same as do from judo, uh, do from karate do from kendo. It means a way or a path over a long period of time. Whereas jitsu, like jitsu is just an art or a system of techniques.
Yeah.
So Bushido is it's really all warrior cultures. And here's the thing about war and or doing hard things. I mean, I haven't been to war like some of my friends, but doing hard things. It same as the knights in medieval Europe. They have a code of honor and a code of conduct that is a set of rules that they live their life by. And it's interestingly, in some regards, everyone talks about Bushido and the samurai, but also the English knights. They had a very similar code. about how they were to live and treat people, and about honor and respect and humility and chivalry and temperance and all of these different things.
So the martial arts use the Bushido as a code.
Yeah, well, it was developed. It was developed. It was a set of precepts or a code for the samurai. But obviously, in this day and age, modern times, still a lot of guys that do their martial arts as a way of life. They focus on that Bushido concept. He's gone again. The brother's gone.
Yeah. But you know the Brazilian internet's not good, eh?
Corona. It's Corona.
Yeah, it's you got the virus here. Too much Corona in Brazil.
But I was just saying that, yeah, Bushido. A lot of guys lean on the Bushido thing, and I think whether you call it Bushido or, because you do, if I try to, even when I was teaching guys just to fight, just the competition. That's not the important thing.
Yeah, true, man.
The important thing is so true, man. The important thing is the lessons that you learn from it and how you develop your character. I'm by no means a saint, and I've done silly things and things that I regret in my life. But I still try. To be the best person that I can, and I think I've been influenced by that Bushido way over the years. It's important to me.
Nice, coach. Was very good talk to you. It
Yeah.
was a honor. I hope people are watching enjoy as I enjoyed, because always good to talk as a guy experienced in MMA, and as in life, and as a coach, as a fighter like you. Thank you very much. Thank you for take this time in your Sunday morning. Yeah. And
No,
we keep in touch.
of course.
Always good to see you. Thank
Always
you.
an honor. Hey, brother.
Yeah.
See you, mate.
See ya.
Bye.
Falou, galera. Muito obrigado aí por assistir. Até mais tarde. Até o próximo capítulo aí. Eu vou fazer mais lives dessa de Warriors Mindset. I'm gonna do more lives like that, the Warriors Mindset, okay? I'm gonna interview more people. I'm liking very much this subject, and I hope you enjoy as well. Thank you.